Well, it's martini time on Saturday. Hope you're having a nice, cool indoor day. It's hot out. So let's see what the monkey mind comes to. And this, I just realized this. Hold on a minute. Last night we have Friday night dessert and people over for a movie. And the movie was among a whole, somebody had a birthday, so they got to select the movie, and there was a whole bunch of musicals, and she selected The Phantom of the Opera. Of course, it's backwards, but you see the pictures here. The Phantom of the Opera. Everyone knows the story. I don't know if you've seen the movie or not. The movie was very well produced, great acting movie, beautiful thing. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit because movies like this can be confusing. But getting back to this monkey, the movie started with an opera house in Paris around the turn of the century that had a fire and collapsed and was no longer there. They were auctioning off the artifacts and the stuff, and so there were two older people there, and they bid on this little monkey with clasping cymbals. It would go poop, poop. You wind it up, and it would go choo, 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 choo. A little automated monkey, and it ended with that. But then the movie drops. It's black and white in present time, and then it drops into the past. And so the whole intersection of the movie is in the past when this fantastic Paris opera was in operation, and it had in it the Phantom of the Opera, who was kind of like the music creator of this opera. But nobody ever saw him. They kept a booth for him, and nobody ever saw the Phantom. He had one clothes like that, and so there was a beautiful girl that got the job of singing the main opera thing. She became very famous, and the Phantom fell in love with her. And anyway, they go through this entanglement, and it ends up with the opera being burned down, and then it finishes back in real time when the characters are now old, and the story's over. So I know you maybe have not seen it, but the thing is, I guess what I wanted to talk about was that movies like this, it's like you go along on the sidewalk of everyday mind, and then you step into the center of the movie and you fall into this interior space, and then you come up back on the street again of everyday mind, and the story ends, and you look back and say, what the hell was that? So movies are really dreams. We don't think of them as dreams so much, but when I look at a movie, when I watch a movie, I have to realize that I'm entering into a dream, and I'm playing all the characters. You see. So when you dream, you dream all the characters, even though the dream stretches out in a story. But in a dream, it's like Alice in Wonderland. In a dream, anything can become anything. Anything morphs into anything. So there's no logical cause and effect sequence of material things logically changing. It just suddenly changes, and everything is out of proportion, and suddenly you're in here one time and now you're another, and whoa, I mean, we all know what dreams are like, but they are interior places where we create them and play all the characters. So this movie was a dream within a dream. You had the whole movie, which was a dream, but then it was like the centerpiece of it, the opera piece in color. You see, that was like another dream. And what these movies do is try to they shift the paradigm from everyday world, everyday mind, everyday flat world. Everything is there, and it's all logical, and all recognize it, and everything's in place in history, you see. And then you drop through this hole into this Alice in Wonderland, and everything is it's a different paradigm. In other words, the reference changes. You see, when you're in the everyday world and the everyday movie, and just if it's a documentary, okay? So if the movie's a documentary, it's going to be about the world we recognize. And then if it becomes, say, art, well, then the movie, the art wants to shift your paradigm so that you suddenly experience the movie as you. So the Phantom of the Opera is basically an interior dream in which you are the phantom, and you are the princess, and you are the lover, the three participants here. The lover from the surface world who was in the flat, the everyday world, and the phantom who was in the interior world, and then the princess who, the singer, the beautiful young woman, she was traveling in both. All right, so the Phantom of the Opera, the music of the night, and he's disfigured, So he's really a metaphor for our own pain body, our self-loathing. So he was a minotaur in the labyrinth. The opera was like that, a labyrinth. You go down into his territory below, and there was caverns and labyrinths and waterways and secret rooms, and it was an interior. It was like in Batman, the Batcave, So it was this interior place down there where he had his little throne and these mirrors, and this was like this was our buried pain. Totally talks about the pain body, our self-loathing. And it was all about he was disfigured, he loathed himself. Everybody hated him, this self-loathing. I was just watching a British movie. We started a new series. We finished up Hinterland, and now we just picked up this one called Southcliffe, and it's about it's about somebody that shoots up everybody in a British town, but I can tell right away it's about self-loathing. Self-loathing. These mass shooters, people that go off like that, it's self-loathing. The self-loathing reaches an intolerable point where it breaks out and just blows up everything. The self-loathing is so intense, so volcanic, that it has to flow out and like the volcano and just burn up the whole town. Just total self-destruction, total war. Like Hitler at the end of it, total war, just destroy all of Germany, total war. Armageddon, end of time, end it all, blow it all up. So this self-loathing that can't break out into a creative response ends up in self-destruction. So in a way, the movie was about this self-loathing that is healed because of the love of the princess, let's say the opera singer. So it was kind of like Beauty and the Beast, that if you love the beast, it's healed. If you love the beast, you can life goes on. So if you can't love the beast, it's blocked. So there's the beast within, the self-loathing within, has to be exposed. So and several times during the opera, she would pull his mask off to see his disfigured face. You had to see it, you see. So this, and he went, oh, no, no. So this my loathing is so bad, I can't even look at it. Nobody can look at it. And that's why we don't look. You see, we don't want to look at it. It's loathsome. The feeling I don't even deserve to exist. I don't deserve to walk upon the face of the earth. It gets so bad, you see. This, but it's, you know, the self-loathing is a relative thing. It's little or it's huge. But everybody's got a little taint of it. Everybody's got a little stain of it. You might say it's the original sin. This stain of self-loathing, which in the yoga traditions and the Buddha traditions, the self-loathing is the suffering that's created when you turn away from your true nature. In Christianity, it's you turn away from God, the original sin. In Buddhism, it's turn away from your Buddha nature, your true nature, your potential. You turn away from your full potential. And a piece of you falls off into the cavern below and festers like unwashed food, you know. Something rots. Something won't grow. Something can't be, the energy is trapped, can't grow. And as long as we avoid it, cover it up, repress it, project it, it continues to pollute our life and everything around us. And so the whole spiritual path, basically, is coming to the point where you can face your phantom in the opera. Is coming to your, to bring the pimple to the point where you have to pop it. You know, you have to turn and face your own face, you see. Your own face, you see. So this movie is basically the movies like this that invite you to go on an interior journey to face your own self-loathing or face your own wonder. Because this movie had both. This was the ambiguity of the Phantom of the Opera. He was also the music of the night. He created music. This was the source of creativity and also the source of pain. It's ambiguous, you see. The monkey clapping the two things together, you see. The ambiguity of it. So it's not logical. It's not this or that. It's both. So I think the movie was creating this. It isn't logical. It is a interior adventure where you see the ambiguity, the two faces of good and evil, the two faces of ugliness and beauty, the two faces of joy and sorrow, and bring them together, you see. And you can't bring them together objectively. You can't. This is the thing. There has to be a paradigm shift where you experience something exteriorly, interiorly. So the art does this. This is what art does. And religion should do this, but it doesn't. But the art and the religion should be an exterior presentation of your interior. So when you go into the movie, you're able to enter into a dream state where everything is, where you are everything, and the fragmented pieces of yourself, the ambiguities, the contradictions of yourself, are put together as one, you see. Because, as I said at the beginning, as the, I'm not going to hold that, but the dream is a one. There's one dream, and you as the dreamer are all the characters. But at the same time, you're one. And you know it. When you dream, there is a knower of the dream that you're aware of, while at the same time, you're all the characters in the dream. Now that's a movie. So movies are dreams. And you have good, degrees of success or the power of the movie. The ones that get the Oscar and the ones that are, get on the B rate or whatever, But the point is that the movie is a dream. And when you go into the movie theater, you're basically lying down and taking a nap. You're sitting on the couch. You're putting your body in place and it's still. And you stop eating and you stop talking and you stop looking at your watch. And you go into the dream. And there the magic, the alchemy takes place. There you are the movie and you are all the characters in the movie. And yet you're not, you see. So there's a tension in the movie that pulls you through. Otherwise, you get up and you go back into your everyday flat world and you say, oh, this is crap, let's go. And you get up and leave, Either there's nothing you want to, either the movie's no good or either it's got something you don't want to see. But the point is, this is an interior world presented in an objective way with an invitation to come in. So in a sense, the movie was the opera, and it invited you to come in and meet your own phantom, the part of you that you don't want to see, the dark side, the hidden side. Because if you don't see it, you're split. If you don't see it, this is the dark side, this is the light side, and doesn't make any music. You see, they miss each other, you see. So when you see both your light and your dark side, Om. Om is the original sound that holds all sounds together. So when you see the movie as your life that you're dreaming, all the characters come together and you are all of them and separate at the same time. And this is the truth of life. In the truth of life, we look around, the objective truth of life. We look around and everything is in place. It's a flat world. Everything is logically constructed. There's no magic. Nothing suddenly morphs into something else. Whoa, Everything has a cause, a law. Everything is rational. Everything is known. And if it isn't known, you really get it, you know it really fast, you see. Everything's in place, you see. But the interior world's not like that. The interior world is all mushy and mixed up. Feelings and emotions are there, you see. So these two worlds are incompatible in our modern civilization. You see, so we keep trying to make everything look logical and in place, you see, but we can't do it because we're trying to mix the subjective interior with an objective interior, and they don't mix. So we go to art in the movie where they mix, and if we enter into it, you see, there is a transubstantiation if you are ready. Now that is a Catholic term for the Eucharist. Transubstantiation was that when you took part of the Eucharist and the bread and the wine actually became the body of Christ, the blood and the flesh of Christ. It wasn't just a symbol. There was an alchemical event there. So that if you participated in the Eucharist with a suspension of your logical world, there was a healing that took place, a uniting of the interior and the exterior. So you could say with Jesus, I and the Father are one. I and the world are one. I'm healed. Atonement. I'm not separate from the world. I'm not in exile. the world and I are one. Krishnamurti says that. You are the world is you. So all of this goes to this healing moment of unity, where all the parts are me. You are me, I'm me, the dog, the world. We're all one, yet at the same time, we're separate. You see, that is the magical, the mystical union, where the many is the one and the one is the many, simultaneously, not either or. And when we live in the flatland of logic, it's got to be either or. You can't choose this and that simultaneously. It has to be you choose this or that, you see. But in the movie, in art, and in our whole life, I am both this and that. And we call that love or compassion. So anyway, thanks for dropping in. And watch the movie. And next time when you see a movie like this, remember that what does a dream mean? It means that you are all the characters, like Avatar. It's really about the awakening of unity or oneness, you see. So all good movies point to that. Okay, thank you very much.